Well, good morning, folks.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
It's a great day. It's a great day in the morning. Yeah, I've been gone for 4 months, and I know you've missed me because I miss
We
you.
missed you. Yeah.
It's great to be back. Well, hello, dear brothers and sisters, and that's what you are, brothers and sisters in the faith. I was in jolly old England with my wife, visiting our extended family, multiple old aunts and uncles and third cousins and second cousins, and sitting around drinking many cups of tea. Everywhere you go over there, as soon as you hit the door, come in, have a cup of tea, sit down, have a cookie, have a biscuit or something. You know, you've got to go through all that ritual before we can even start talking about anything. You've got to have a cup of tea first. So it's marvellous, it really is. And we had wonderful weather. It was so hot, we couldn't believe it. It was like it was here during the summer. We had warm over there. And I even attended a couple of cricket matches. Now, cricket can last 3 days. Can you believe it? The same game lasts 3 days. They're very civilized. They break at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for tea and biscuits. Then they carry on with the game. And the next morning they resume and start continuing on. They've got the score from the previous day and they start over. It's really great. It's a gentleman's game, see. They used to wear collar and tie playing cricket. They sweat, believe it, they did. And, you know, I said that the old stories, one has to go home to England. My mother used to say to me, now don't come over here talking Yankee. We don't need Yankee talk, and not only that, you're putting it on. What are you putting it on? Well, you're talking all American now, you know. I used to say tomato, which bothered her because it was tomato. You know. And so remember that very fondly of my mother. By the way, my sister Peggy is a lot better. I asked us to pray for her a couple of weeks ago. She's a lot better and in good spirits. And Anthony and I are driving up there to Santa Barbara, actually north of Santa Barbara, after the service to see her, spend a few days with her. I thought you'd give her that feedback, but sometimes you don't hear. You pray to people and it goes into the black hole somewhere. You don't hear anything, are they better or they're dead or what happened. She's doing a lot better. Anyway, let's get on with the sermon, otherwise I'll go over time and Bernie will jump on me. The Bible reminds us that we should believe in Jesus Christ and to love those that share that belief with us. Bernie talked about it just now, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about faith and love, or love and faith. We've got to learn to love one another. That's very important. Christ pointed it out, the Apostle Paul pointed it out. It was taken from the book of John, that sort of thought, that theme, and many other cases, particularly the book of John, is the real evidence for the presence of real Christianity, if we love one another. It's also of note that St. Paul, we call him St. Paul because that's what he was. We refer to that now because we get so many visitors and not used to be calling him Paul. So we call him St. Paul. There's nothing wrong with that. He was a man of faith, and we're all saints. We're the same. The Bible refers to us as saints. As I said, that's the real evidence of being a Christian, if we love one another and we believe in Jesus Christ. So today I'm going to start by asking us 2 questions. Simple questions. The first question is this: what do you think is the most important thing that God values in our everyday life? Any thoughts? What do you think? Anybody? What do you think is the most important thing that God values? Yes, Bill?
Our soul.
He values our souls. Good one. Very good, yes. Any other thoughts? What do you think God values in the way we live our life? What would it be?
Our relations Relationship with God.
Relationship with God. Okay, that's a good one too. I'll pose it to you. I'll pose you a couple of questions. Is it our faith in God, the Trinity, and our faith in Jesus Christ? Do you think it's that, our coming Saviour? Is that what God values? That faith? Yes, it certainly does. He would value that. Or, question number 2, is it our love for God and each other? Ask that question to yourself. Would it be either one of the two? So I'm going to answer that this afternoon from a few scriptures from the Bible. So let's turn to how God might value the first one I'm going to deal with, is faith. Hebrews 11, the old hoary scripture, we know it well, refers to the issue of faith. That Paul lists off the righteousness of all those people that had faith. He didn't say they had love, he said they had faith. It was counted for righteousness to them. And even people that maybe weren't Christians, who had a certain faith that God recognized, like Rachel the harlot, the prostitute. She had faith. She had faith that the Israelites would save her and people who thought like her. And she became great for all eternity because of her faith. She's mentioned many times in the Bible. If you look up, she had kids and they had kids, and she was connected to the Holy One through that. You know, it's impossible to please God without faith. I'm not asking the computer man to turn to these scriptures, as I'm just going to refer to them. There are many references that Jesus himself commended faith. So I can sit down now and you can continue on with the service. Right? You should answer the question. It's impossible to please God without faith. That's it, right? It's over. No, let's look a little further. Let's look a little further into what the Bible really says. I could end there, as I said, and sit down. Let's look at love, shall we? The second question. Let's look at that one. Let's look at how God values love. I was in Bangladesh on one of my trips there, to tell a little story about love. And walking along a dusty path, there were some little huts, little shacks really made of scrap steel and wood and pieces. And a little lady came out with an aluminum plate. I remember it was aluminum, it was polished. And on that plate she had some little star-shaped or triangular-shaped, I forget the name of them, they put meat in them and things, and she offered me one. Now, it would have been, if I had not accepted one, that it would have been a great insult to her and the whole village. So, of course, I gratefully took one and thanked her for it. And John Biswas gave me the sign not to eat it, right? So I artfully slid it into my pocket and walked on, thinking that no one had seen me. No one had seen it. They watch you all the time over there. You're like a man from another planet. So they watch everything you do. So I tried to hide it, like you do, and slipped it into my pocket. And walking along, when no one was looking, I sort of dropped it to the side into the grass and carried on, thinking, well, let's got rid of that. Well, a few minutes later, the sun was getting very hot. I was walking on there. There was a tug on my sleeve. And I looked down, there was this little boy, about 8 years old. That's all he was. And he offered his little skinny arm to me with that little cookie that I dropped. He offered it to me. Now, I hadn't eaten in probably a couple of days. But he offered me back the food that he thought I had dropped by accident. So I said to him, please, you can have it, you can have it. He answered that, and he thanked me, and he went happily on his way. He happily on his way, eating that little cookie. Now, to me, that little boy showed love. He didn't have any faith. No faith. Well, I know of. I'm not judging him. He wasn't old enough to understand Christianity or the Muslim religion, which is the main religion out there. But he was blessed by it, and he was blessed for it, for the action he showed. He did it in love. And I feel that that was more important than any faith he might have had at that time. It's love. It's about love. And he did it. He, didn't expect anything back from me. He wanted to give me this little skinny hand. I can see it now, his little arm. He offered it back like that. And I thanked him. In Galatians 5:22, you'll see that love is the first fruit of the Spirit. Further down is faith. About 4 down in the list. Faith is listed way down. I was shocked when I learned this several years ago. I thought faith would have been right at the top. Because we tend to stress faith. It's a more mechanical thing in our past understanding of the gospel. And we missed a lot of love. We missed out a lot of love. And that's what we're bringing back, what we brought back into this church. I know, because many of you sent me cards, and still do. I won't mention their names today, but they know who they are. Almost hard for me to handle this emotion, that act of love. It takes effort. It's mainly women that do it, by the way. Now and again you'll get a man that has the gumption to do it. It's mainly women that tend to show this kind of love. Why is that, guys? Why is it? Why is it the ladies can muster up that kind of love and show it? I don't know, maybe you can answer that question. But Paul was talking to the church here, and in his letters, there were many of them, he mentioned about love and faith. All the way through, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, we're not going to turn to them. He rejoiced, he was talking to the church, and spoke in his letters often about the fact that he found faith and love in the churches he visited. He was very pleased and very happy. He said he always thanked God for that in his prayers. He was dedicated to the fact that churches were growing in faith and love. I'll give you an example. 1 Thessalonians 3:6. He said, Timothy has just now come to see us from you. And he's brought good news about your what? Your wealth? You bought new houses? No. About your love and faith. Your love and faith. Your faith and love. And he said we ought always to thank God for this. That we're growing in love. We're increasing in love. There are many, many examples I could read down, but I won't. I'm trying to keep within my time block here. So, if you look at 1 Corinthians 13, the 3 things that remain, Paul said, after all is said and done, if you're sitting down. 3 things. Faith, hope, love. And what's the greatest love? Love exceeds faith. In Paul's reckoning, that's inspired by God. Because we know that God is love. He's love. He's the prime and only wonderful example in the cosmos of true love. He's a living, acting being. These 3 remain, and the greatest of these is love. So I'm going to conclude now. I'm going to get in on my time limit. I'm going to do it. For us today in Glendora, as Christians, to answer the question 1, is it love? Question 2, is it faith? Is it faith? Is it love? Which is it? Which is the most important thing? I'll turn to Galatians 5:16. Galatians 5:6. The only thing that counts, Paul said, is faith expressing itself through love. Let us walk together in that truth.